Introduction. Vivienne Westwood, a national fashion designer based in the United Kingdom, is honored as the West Queen Mother and Punk Godmother. Since the 1980s, she has been dominating the fashion industry for more than 30 years. Because of her, punk culture is able to enter the fashion industry and becomes a fashion trend for youngsters. She is also an activist who focuses on international issues such as politics, society, global warming, and so on. She put her political attitude on the fashion stage and made the stretching platform turn into a podium and a parade. The models became the flash publicity with a clear and strong message design work-through. This unconventional movement gave Vivienne Westwood an unparalleled status. She thus received a medal from the British royal family and a dame in recognition of her contribution to the fashion industry. Now, let's revisit the legendary designer's life as well as her influential classic design. Birth and life. Vivienne Westwood was born in 1941 in a small village of England. At the age of 17, her family moved to Harrow. She then enrolled at University of the Arts Harrow. However, she dropped out in one semester because as a girl of the working class, she was not confident that she would survive in the art world. She then entered another university instead and became a primary school teacher after graduation. But she never gave up her dreams. At the same time, she kept designing her jewelry line and sold her handicraft at a small store off Portobello Road. Her first husband was Derek Westwood, and this marriage lasted for only 3 years. Access to punk fashion. It was Malcolm McLaren that linked Vivienne with Derek. Vivienne continued her teaching career after divorce. It was not until 1971 when McLaren opened a boutique called Lady Rock, generally known as Sass, Too Fast to Live, Too Young to Die, that Vivienne turned to work as a full-time designer building up her own brand Vivienne Westwood. Interestingly, McLaren later became the agent of the legendary punk band Sex Pistols, and the band naturally put on the rebellious punk costume designed by McLaren and Vivienne Westwood. They became well known because of Sex Pistols' performance costumes. It was from there that they officially hit on the road of punk fashion. Punk culture. Punk culture was originated in the United Kingdom in the 1970s. At first, it was a rebellious movement associated with music. The main purpose was to resist some existing forms of convention, such as progressive rock and heavy metal. Followers of the punk culture developed their own dystopian style of music characterized by underground and minimalist rock. Punk culture began as a chaotic, disorderly, crude, primitive form of music, with the purpose of expressing rebellious appeals to the society and reality at the time. Later, it developed into a trend shaping cultural and social ideologies and then evolved into a popular fashion trend. Vivienne Westwood once said, "I am the savior of punk culture. Nobody can comment on this culture anymore." Vivienne Westwood integrates iconic designs into punk culture, as characterized by strap details, buckles, sexual abuse, chains and blades, etc. Vivienne Westwood is a great deal. Her work exemplifies the tradition of British style and yet is also distinguished for her avant-garde and eclectic design, full of elements such as plaid cloth and rice-shaped flag. Awards. Vivienne Westwood was awarded the British Fashion Designer of the Year in 1990, 1991, and 2006. In 1992, she was awarded the British Empire's Most Outstanding Medal, OP, by the British royal family to recognize her contribution to the fashion industry. In 2001, she was selected as the Royal Designers for Industry and was since known as National Treasure. Later, in 2006, she was named Dame. Contribution to society. Vivienne Westwood has the global reputation as a social activist. She is concerned with plenty of political and social issues, including questions of global warming, climate change, the independence of Scotland, to the issue of women's rights, and so on. She lifted these issues to the stage, making the runway turn into a protest. She invited friends with the same concept to serve as models. They would wear costumes with strong and ironic slogans, a real human flash promotion. Among them, Vivienne Westwood can be seen as the representative that sheds light on environmental issues. For instance, in the spring and summer collection of 2003, she caught the imagination of the public by promoting the Climate Revolution series with eco-friendly fabrics. In addition, she also went to Kenya to teach the local women how to make handbags. Her goal was to help the Kenya women aware that it was unwise to cut trees, or to exchange money, food, or clothes with bugs. Women of Kenya could make a living on their own through the sales of handbags. Vivienne Westwood strives to practice corporate social responsibility and using sustainable fashion as a weapon against the chaos of the world. As she said, fashion gave me the opportunity to say something that I think is important. Documentary. Westwood. Punk Fashion Godmother will be released in 2018, with a number of live pieces from Vivienne Westwood and interviews with former collaborators and its efforts to march into Paris and Milan Fashion Week in the 1970s. However, Vivienne Westwood was disappointed at the film and thought that the director Ronald Tucker broke the promise. The original concept of the documentary was to devise the designer's pursuit of anti-establishment. Yet, although Tucker followed her for several years to shoot, he only shot some footage from most of the fashion clips available online. She reprimanded the director for not correctly expressing her worldview or properly displaying her fashion world. Conclusion. Vivienne Westwood is always true to her own feelings. No one can stop her from doing what she thinks is right. This 78-year-old lady is never afraid of having her voice heard. I didn't mean to rebel, just to find other ways that are different from the routine. Vivienne Westwood's most distinctive thing is her punk concept, the rebellious soul. Although her design has little elements of punk now, she keeps expressing her positive ideas and conveying important messages through the clothes that she brings into life. That's what makes her stand out in the history of fashion.